Hi, my name is Hallie Adams, and this is my video presentation over Dura-Europos for Art 215. I hope you enjoy. So to start off, I just want to give an overview about what I'm going to be talking about today. So I'm going to start off with the background of the city, a timeline of who controlled the city, talk a little bit about the synagogue paintings, and then end with Christians at Dura. And then the last slide will include my sources. The city's name, Dura-Europos, is actually both Greek and Roman, Europos being Greek and Dura being Roman. The city is located in an old Roman Empire outpost that overlooks the Euphrates River in Syria. It's thought that the city was started shortly after the death of Alexander the Great, and the city was left largely intact by the Romans after the Sasanian siege of Dura. I thought it might be helpful to include a timeline of who had control over the city. Like stated before, it's believed that the city was started shortly after the death of Alexander the Great at the end of the 2nd century BCE. During this time, the city is under the control of the Parthians. Around the year 115 BCE, Trajan takes over, but control does not last long and the Parthians regain control of the city. Shortly after this, however, in 165 BCE, the Romans come into power under Marcus Aurelius, who stations a permanent garrison there. Then, in 256 BCE, Dura-Europos falls against the Sasanians, who were the successors to the Parthians. So before we talk about the synagogue paintings, I wanted to talk a little bit about what a synagogue actually is. So a synagogue is a Jewish house of worship. The synagogue at Dura-Europos is described as an extensive cycle of mural paintings, including episodes from the sacred Jewish Torah. This specific synagogue was transformed from a house that had a private courtyard into a synagogue around the late 2nd century. The discovery of this synagogue was actually quite surprising for historical scholars because up until this point it had been believed that this kind of decoration within a house of worship went against the second commandment, which basically prohibits those of a Jewish faith from worshiping images. It's also interesting that in these paintings, God is almost never depicted, and if he is, he's only depicted as a hand at the edge of a painting. So the picture that you see to the left on the screen is the main room of the synagogue at Dura-Europos. This wall includes a special indentation where you can place the Torah, and the whole entire rest of the wall is completely covered in paintings. Within these paintings are stories that are told through gestures and figures, but all of these gestures and figures are expressionless features. They all have little volume or any kind of shadowing. They are also all in frontal rows. Next, I want to talk about a specific synagogue painting, Samuel Anoints David. This painting was created somewhere between the years 245 and 256 BCE. The painting is 4 foot and 7 inches and is a great example of late antiquity style. In this painting, Samuel is shown to be bigger than the other men, and David is shown in a purple robe compared to all his brothers who wear togas of natural tones. The purple is used to show David's royalty. The last thing that I want to talk about today is Christians at Dura. Similar to those of Jewish faith, Christians also had a meeting house. This house could accommodate up to 70 people and had a separate room used solely for baptisms. The difference between the two is that Christians at Dura faced much persecution. The Roman Emperor Diocletian was very disturbed by the growing religion, as they refused to pay homages to the official gods of the Roman state. As a result, persecutions were very prominent from 303 or 305 until about 311 or 313 BCE. These persecutions ended with Galerius's Edict of Toleration and Constantine's embracing of Christianity. He erected an Edict of Milan, which established Christianity as a legal religion and also as an equal to the traditional Roman religion. This concludes my presentation over Dura-Europos. Thank you for watching.